Hey, what's going on YouTube and new listeners and subscribers? You're watching KBTV where knowledge is born, and I'm King David. How y'all doing today? Salutations and greetings. Today I want to talk about the four rivers in the body because it also correlates with the Bible in Genesis. All right. And so just as a reminder, remember the Bible is not to be taken literally. Okay. Um, the four rivers in the body is the blood, saliva, urine, and spinal fluid. Okay. Now, if y'all watched my not last video, but my video on the understanding the temple chakras part 2, and how I talk about the spinal fluid. So we have the blood, saliva, urine, and spinal fluid. Those are the four rivers. Now, remember the secret oil, the oil that's secreted in the pineal gland, as I talked about in chakras 2, understanding the temple. Okay. It runs down the spinal fluid, which is this cerebral spinal fluid, okay? Runs down the spine. All right. Now, remember that fluid or oil, secret oil secreted in the pineal gland. That's where it's created, okay? So now, in the Bible, in Genesis chapter 2, verses 10 through 14, okay, when they talk about the river ensuing out of Eden to water the garden, okay, it's talking about the oil that's secreted in the pineal gland ensuing into the body, which is the garden, okay? And remember how I always talk about how we're similar to trees and plants and things of that nature. So I want you to get the idea in your mind that, you know, if you don't water the plant, right, which is the roots right here at the bottom, okay, if these roots don't get no water, the trees die. Okay? And just like the body, 3 days without water, you gonna die. Okay, organs gonna shut down and the body's gonna be no longer. So and the same with trees, okay? Now, you know, here go the tree, here go the roots. Now, just like in the body, okay, but it's flipped in the body because the roots is actually up here. Because remember, the river is ensuing out of Eden to water the garden. Garden of Eden is in the head. Remember, heaven is in the head. Okay, as I always talk about, and hell is at your heels. All right. So, I had to get something to drink. All right, so that's, you know, in order to water the garden, in order to keep the tree alive and healthy, right, it has to be watered. The roots have to be watered. So the oil's being secreted, the secret oil's being secreted out of the pineal, okay, and traveling to the rest of the body, okay, which is purifying and cleaning the blood and the urine and the saliva. It's all traveling up and down the spinal fluid, okay? And just water in the garden, which is, here go the lungs. Okay, your lungs is like the branches on the tree. All right, if you ever Google an image of what your lungs look like, okay, it's gonna look like branches on the tree. Okay, so the roots are in the head, branches are in your lungs. Okay, but that fluid is going down the spine and is going everywhere throughout the body. It's emitting everywhere throughout the body. Okay, so just like when you drink water, if you're not hydrated, you're not going to have any saliva. Okay, that river is going to run dry. Okay, and if you're not drinking water, your blood's not going to be clean. Okay, and if you're drinking soda pop, your urine's not going to be yellow or whatever color comes out. Okay, so you know those are the four rivers in the body, corresponding to the Bible. Okay. Yeah. And also I want to talk about the Red Sea. Since we're talking about the four rivers and the blood, I want to talk about the Red Sea. All right. On the surface, the composition of our blood is similar to that of seawater. But the concentration of salts in seawater is much higher than it is in blood, about 3 times as high. However, when seawater is diluted, known as isotonic seawater, the concentrations are remarkably similar to blood. Okay? So Moses in the Red Sea, he's departing the Red Sea. Okay, remember, don't take it literally. The Bible's not to be taken literally, it has to be broken down. So, our blood, seawater is 3 times higher in salt than our blood. Okay, it's a big sea out there. All right, we only got one body. But when diluted, okay, known as isotonic seawater, the concentrations are remarkably similar. That's basically identical. So, there's your Red Sea. It's in the blood. Our blood is similar to the ocean. Not a coincidence that everything happened for a reason. Okay? But that's the 4 rivers in the body, according to Genesis. All right? Chapter 2, 10 through 14. Read it yourself. All right? Because there's no actual physical, geographical location of where they found the Garden of Eden. You know what I mean? And there's like a lot of other things in the Bible that they haven't discovered, that if it was a physical fact, then y'all should have dug it up by now. If y'all found dinosaurs and everything else in the world, and Lucy, you should have found something in correspondence to the stories. But they don't. So, it's not to be taken literally, all right? Because we are the universe, as above, so below, okay? So, that's the 4 rivers. Garden of Eden is in the head. Heaven is in the head. The river is ensuing out of Eden to water the garden, which is like the tree, the garden, and the body. All right. And that's it for today. I hope you guys learned something. And until we meet again, Tavio Luego, Contingo Mundia. Peace.